Okay, for tonight's homework, it's page 235, and I want you to look in your planners to see the numbers I want you to do. Just to let you know, it'll be in your planner, but you'll be doing 11, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 19, 20, and 23. Those will be the problems you do tonight. We'll go over a couple of these together, and then you will be on your own to do the rest. We're making fractions in simplest form for tonight's homework, and we'll explain how to do that. So, number 11, you have the fraction 3/6, okay, and we have to make that into simplest form. Okay, and to do that, we're going to be doing what we've been doing in class, which is finding the GCF first. So, first thing I'm going to do is find the GCF of 3 and 6. And again, you can use, I'm going to send home these matrices with you that has a matrix on the front side, and on the back side it gives you all the factors for numbers 1 through 100. So you can use that tonight. So I'm going to find the factors of 3 and 6. And remember, factors are two numbers you multiply together to get the answer or the product. So for 3, I can multiply every time 1 times the number itself, 1 and 3, and those are the only two factors for 3. So those are the only two numbers I can multiply together to get 3. So now I'm going to go to 6. Well, I know automatically it's 1 times 6, and also I can multiply 2 times 3. Okay? And because 3 is next on my list, I know I'm finished. Okay, so I compare my lists. My greatest common factor is 3. Alright, so here's the next step. This is the new step we're adding for tonight's homework. So now we write our original fraction, which is 3/6. And what I'm going to do, I'm going to divide by the GCF, which is 3. Okay? So 3/6. 3 divided by 3 equals 1. And again, you can use your matrix to do that. How many times does 3 go into 3? 1 time. And then how many times can 3 go into 6? That would be twice. So my answer in simplest form is 1/2. Okay, that is number 11. Alright, so make sure you're doing each step. If I'm doing it on here, make sure you're doing it on your paper. So you have your original fraction. You find the GCF of both numbers. Once you find the GCF, you then divide that number back into the fraction to make it in simplest form. Alright, that's number 11. Let's look at 13. 13 is 14. Okay, number 14. 14 over 21. First thing I'm going to do is find all my factors for each number. Okay, so for 14, I know 1 and 14. And then I go to my next number. 2 times 7. I can't do 3. I can't do 4. I can't do 5. I can't do 6. And then I run into 7 here, so I know I'm finished with 14. So my factors of 14 are 1, 2, 7, and 14. Now for 21, I know 1 and 21. 2 does not go into 21, but 3 does. 3 times 7. And then those end up being all of my factors. So my factors for 21 are 1, 3, 7, and 21. Okay, so now I need to find the GCF, the greatest common factor, the biggest number in both pairs, in both lists, excuse me, and that would be 7. Okay, so now I come down here, I rewrite my original fraction, and now I'm going to divide by my GCF, which is 7. So I divide by 7 and divide by 7. Okay, again, you can use a matrix if you need to, or if you just know it, that's great too. 7 goes into 14 twice, and 7 can go into 21 3 times. So my answer for number 13 is 2/3 in simplest form. 14 21st, simplest form is 2/3. Okay? Let's look at another one. So we've done 11 and 13. let's look at 14. Okay, the fraction is 4/12. Okay, next step, finding my factors for both numbers. I know every time 1 times the number itself is always going to be my first two factors. And 1 times 4 is 4, and I know 2 times 2 is 4. But I only have to write it once. Okay? I don't need to put 2 on there twice. So my factors are 1, 2, and 4. And again, guys, this is just something we've been doing, so that's why I'm kind of moving through it pretty quick, because we've been doing the GCF a lot. Factors for 12, 1 and 12. Then I can do 2. 2 times 6. I can do 3. 3 times 4. I can't multiply 5 by anything to get 12. And then I run into 6 here in next on my list, so I know I'm done. I have no more factors. So my factors for 12 are 1, 2, 3, 4, 6, and 12. Comparing both, I see that 4 is my GCF. So then my next step, I rewrite the fraction, divide it by 4. 4 goes into 4 1 time. 4 goes into 12 3 times. So my fraction in simplest form is 1/3. Okay? And that is number 14. Alright, one more. Let's do one more. Let's look at, tell you what. Let's look at, let's look at number 17. 17 is 18 21st. Find my factors. Okay, my factors 1 and 18. I can multiply 2 times 9. I can multiply 3 times 6. I cannot multiply 4 by anything to get 18. I cannot multiply 5 by anything to get 18, and then I'm back at 6 here in my list, so I know I'm finished. 21, 1, we did this one in another problem, 1 times 21, and then 3 times 7. Okay? Comparing the list, I see that 3 is my GCF. So, rewriting the fraction, I'm going to divide by 3. 3 goes into 18 6 times. 3 goes into 21 7 times. Okay, so my answer in reduced form is 6/7. Alright, so we just went through what? 1, 2, 3, we went through 4 together, so you should have those down on your paper. Again, you only have 5, 6, 7, 8. You have 9 problems, so you need to do 5 on your own. Again, it's just finding the GCF of both numbers, and then whatever that GCF is, you divide that into each number in the original fraction. Again, GCF is something we have been practicing, so that should just be a quick refresher. But we're using that skill to go on to the next step. That's why it's important that we have that skill. It's just going to keep building on each other. And then at the end, you just divide. Again, please use your matrix. I'll make sure you guys have one of these to take home with you. On the front side is your matrix itself. Back side has some factors already listed for you. Please don't use this unless you really need to. And don't even use the matrix if you know your facts. But I don't want you to get hung up trying to figure out multiplication facts when we're trying to get this skill done. So again, check your planner for the problems you need to complete, and you can get them done. All right.